So let's summarize. We have three forms of a line. The first one is the standard form. That's useful when you're going to be graphing using intercepts, where you let x and y each have a turn being 0. We have the slope-intercept form, also useful for graphing or identifying the slope and the y-intercept. And we have this new third form called the point-slope form, which is useful whenever you're trying to find the equation of a line and you're given clues. The rest of this page contains 5 problems on it, and these are 5 key different patterns we find whenever we're trying to find the equation of a line. And I recommend that you put the big italicize the word save up here at the top of the page, because this is going to be a key lesson for you and you're going to want to save this for reference. In this first pattern, we're given the slope and we're given the y-intercept. So if we want our equation to be in y equals mx plus b form, we already have the m and we already have the b, so we can just write our equation directly. But in the remaining 4 problems, we're going to want to use the point-slope formula. Notice how we are given a point and a slope. And this point we're going to think of as our x1, y1 for the purposes of using this point-slope formula. And the more often you write out this point-slope formula, the better you're going to get at memorizing it. And so we substitute our values in. Y minus y1 becomes y minus 4 is equal to the slope, which is negative 3/5, times x minus the x1, which is negative 1. So minus a negative 1 becomes plus 1. And that really is the equation of the line right there in point-slope form. But since the directions asked us to put this into slope-intercept form, we want to do some distribution and clean up to write it with y equals. So we have y minus 4 is equal to negative 3/5 x minus 3/5, and then we want to add 4 to each side. But on the right we have fractions. So if we think of this as a 4 over 1, we can think on the right as this as being 20 over 5, so that we have a common denominator with which to add the fractions. And we will find that the equation of the line we're looking for will be y equals negative 3/5 x plus 17/5. In this next problem, we are given 2 points. In order to find the equation of the line, we need a point and a slope. So we will begin by finding the slope between these 2 points. Use this formula again and subtract 7 minus 5 in the numerator and 3 minus a negative 2 in the denominator to get a slope of 2/5. Now you need a point and a slope, and you've got 2 points, so you can choose either one. Most of you will choose 3/7 because both numbers are positive already. And let's go and apply this point-slope formula yet again. So we're going to have y minus, and we chose to use the 3/7, so y minus 7 equals 2/5 times x minus 3. And then we will do some cleanup here. So distribute the 2/5. That will be y minus 7 is equal to 2/5 x minus 6/5. And then we will want to add 7 to each side of this equation. But instead of 7, we want to think of this as something over 5 that we're going to add. So we will add 35/5 to each side of the equation, and we will then have y equals 2/5 x plus 29/5 as the equation containing those 2 points. And let me reiterate here that this is very checkable. You can take either of the 2 points and substitute the x values in and verify that the y value comes out, and know for a fact that this is indeed the proper equation of a line that we're looking for. In this 4th problem, we are given a parallel clue. And anytime we see the word parallel in an algebra class, we should be thinking the 2 words same slope. So we want the line as the same slope as this given line. So we will find the slope of this line by putting it into slope-intercept form. And let's subtract 3x on each side, and then divide each side by -4 to find that there is a slope of 3/4 for this line. So we want to use that slope 3/4 in our problem as our slope along with that point. And now we would use the point slope formula, and again, the more often you write it out, the better ingrained it will become in your head. So y minus y1 will become y minus 1 up here from the point is equal to 3/4 times x minus a -5, which becomes x plus 5. Now we just need to move into the form they want it in, and they want it in slope-intercept form. So we will distribute the 3/4 and have y minus 1 is equal to 3/4 x plus 15/4. And then we will add 1 to each side, but on the right I'm going to add 1 in the form 4/4 so that we can have a common denominator. And our line we're seeking is y equals 3/4 x plus 19/4. In this next problem, they give us a perpendicular clue, and that makes us think the words negative or opposite reciprocal. And they were very nice to give this to us in slope-intercept form. We want to use the opposite reciprocal slope, which will be positive 3/4. Now we have a point and a slope to use, so let's write our point slope formula and substitute the values in. Minus 2 is equal to 3/4 times x minus a -6, which becomes x plus 6. And then let's do our distribution. That will give us y minus 2 is equal to 3/4 x plus 18/4, which reduces to 9/2. And then add 2 to each side, but we want instead for this to be a fraction over 2, and 2/1 is the same as 4/2, so we can have y is equal to 3/4 x plus 13/2 as the equation. Now again, this page has all 5 patterns of what you can be given. You are given in problem A a slope and an intercept, point B a slope and a point, problem C had 2 points, problem D had a parallel clue, and problem E has a perpendicular clue. And those are the 5 key problems that you're going to look at. Although every once in a while in a word problem you will be given a word problem in which you need to identify a couple of points, and then you kind of look at pattern C over here using the points that you pull out of the word problem to find the equation of a line that models a situation.